Dave Coombs and your Talk of the Town team. Mornings on 100.7 FM, WUTQ.
7:43, highs of 75 or so today, according to Jill Reel, our staff meteorologist from KTV. It's Dave, Jay, and Sam, your Talk of the Town team at your service. And it's Utica Police Chief Mark Williams joining us right now on the show. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great. Doing great. I've spoken with Ed Noonan, one of your deputies, recently. We were joking about his fashion show recently. Did things go okay with his fashion show there? Do you have pictures and video, by the way?
I think he's traumatized by it. But,
Just get a little closer to that microphone, if you would, there, please. Thank you very much. All right. And then the big news from yesterday affecting the Utica Police Force, I would imagine, with the location of the downtown hospital. How do you feel about that?
anything that progresses the city, we're definitely for. It could impact us, which means they can move the police department in the future.
Right.
But I look forward to those talks and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, would there be a better location for the police department when all is said and done because of anything that might be rearranged downtown?
It's a great question. What we'd like to be is somewhere centrally located, specifically in the downtown area if possible, but it depends what land's available.
What would be, and I'm relatively new to the Mohawk Valley compared to Jay, who's a veteran here, what would be a central location downtown versus where you are now? Like, what would be a central location?
It's a great question. It's something that we're currently, we started talking about yesterday. And there's not a lot of land. That's the big issue. I know in the past there's been talks about the old Teamsters building that used to be on Rector Street, but I don't know if a building like that would suit our needs. I mean, whenever you build a police department, you always have to build larger than your current needs because in the future you may have to expand. And that also applies for parking as well.
Hey, Chief, we might have a few empty buildings now with the hospital leaving some of their current locations. They have some space, but
it's true.
So currently you will have some new neighbors. But the idea is, and this may be new to you, so you weren't aware of the announcement until yesterday as well.
I was told a little bit about the project.
Right.
Not many details.
So that kind of throws you in the loop of now you're back to planning.
Exactly. So what I look forward to in the future is having discussions with the mayor, his staff, and the hospital representatives to find out what this means for us.
If you did stay there, would it hold would it help being so close to the hospital?
Potentially, but it depends how much land they want to take.
Sure.
If we lose any of our current parking or our fleet maintenance facility, then it wouldn't make sense to even stay there.
Right.
All right. Also, some other things going on with the Utica Police Force. I know you're searching for more information about some vandals who took some pictures atop the Armadillo. Explain what an Armadillo is, first of all. It's the first time I've actually seen that particular term in association with a vehicle. How does the police department use that vehicle? What's it used for?
Several years ago, we bought a decommissioned Brinks truck for $10. And what we basically did, using donations we got from city businesses, we outfitted it with surveillance cameras. The purpose of that vehicle is to put it in a neighborhood that's facing nuisance problems. It could be disorderly gangs, could be a drug house, and use these video surveillance footage to monitor what's going on in that area. For example, we've had success where we've placed them for the drug houses where we've seen people currently on probation or parole go into these houses, and now they got to explain to a probation or parole officer what they're doing near a drug house. And we've seen drug dealers move out immediately after we placed the truck there. So it has been effective. And this most recent incident that happened the other day involved a youth gang that we've been having problems with over on the 1500 block of Seymour Ave. There's been multiple calls for fights. And at the request of one of the residents, we placed the Armadillo there.
And then some vandals, I guess, climbed on top of it, took photographs, and posted on Facebook. So you're still in search of some information about that. Is that correct?
Correct. And there's also some damage that was caused to the vehicle. I'm waiting for the full report on that. Once I know better, then we will go through all the information that we've collected and look to arrest those that were responsible.
You know, you guys have a tough job. I kind of liken it to being a parent sometimes. Sometimes we have to discipline our kids and we have to look out for their best interests. And you guys are the same when it comes to the public. Your best interests are serving them in terms of security, but also exerting discipline when you have to. And sometimes people can mistake that for police force, unnecessary police force. You guys have a tough job to do. How do you go about balancing all of that with your daily work?
You know, we're doing our best trying to be involved with interacting with our community. I mean, there's a lot of programs and a lot of initiatives that the police department's involved in. For example, we had an officer back in 2007, unfortunately lost his life in the line of duty. What happened was several officers formed what they call the Thomas Lindsay Foundation, where they do shop with a cop once a year with the inner city kids and basically provide a better Christmas than they normally would have. In addition to that, they've done back to school backpack days as well. But our officers are involved with the community in many different ways. We're working with the Refugee Center. We're working with Safe Schools. We're working with Kids in NIDA. We even had officers volunteering with the state police when they had a youth summer program. So there's a lot of programs that we are involved with. It's just that as much as we're trying, we need the community to try with us as well.
Sure.
And you still face barriers, and I know that you guys are trying it with the outreaches that you do. But just recently, a shooting victim claims that he knows the person or persons who shot him. You know, I think he was quoted in saying that, but then again, not cooperating with you folks to try to bring some justice to this case.
Yeah, matter of fact, he's currently up in upstate medical, and you know, it was kind of ironic. We had warrants for his arrest because months prior he shot at his girlfriend.
Right.
So the frustrating part is there's many reasons for the lack of cooperation. The biggest is the fact that the people who are getting shot are involved in bad activity themselves. So it wouldn't be in their best interest a lot of times to tell us why they got shot.
And what kind of roadblocks does that put for you guys when you're investigating, trying to figure out this crime that was caused?
Well, it's frustrating because of the fact that, you know, every unsolved shooting leads to retaliatory shootings.
Of course.
And that's the frustrating part. So you want to make arrests to prevent what could happen down the road.
Talking to Utica Police Chief Mark Williams on the Talk of the Town at 100.7 FM WUTQ. Congrats on recently being approved for accreditation, and I know that's quite a process there, and it's not extended to every police department. How does that work exactly, and what did it take in order to gain that?
You know, in the past, we've gotten accreditation twice, once back in 2003, and you have it for a 5-year period, and then you have to maintain it. But what had to happen was when our 5-year limit came up in 2008, we found that as a department, we weren't necessarily following through on all our policies and procedures. We regained accreditation in 2010, and our 5-year mark was up for reassessment. And what I'm proud about is the fact that they brought in an assessment team from the Division of Criminal Justice Services, and you have to meet 133 best practices and policies that they have in place, and you have to show during that 5-year period that you followed those best practices and show proof that you're meeting up to your standards and policies. And not only did we do that, we also exceeded those expectations as written by the reviews that we got from the assessment team, and we were extremely proud that. As a team approach that we were able to accomplish that.
And I was talking with Sam about this, our news director on WUTQ, and I did not realize that a very small percentage of police forces actually gain that. Why is that the case? What goes wrong when you would be turned down in that circumstance?
Right now, there's over 500 police departments in New York State. Only 22% of those departments are accredited. Mm-hmm. It involves a lot of work. A lot of police agencies, what they do is they have to assign an individual or several individuals specifically just doing accreditation, because you have to make sure you're up on your policies and that you're following through. To the credit of Officer Dave Posha from our department, who did a fantastic job. When we went through back in 2012, the cutting of the department about 17 positions, 12 by layoffs, one of the things we had to seriously consider was dropping accreditation because we just felt we didn't have the manpower at that time. We decided it was in our best interest to try to fight through it and keep it, and it was probably one of the best decisions we made. But to the credit of Officer Dave Posha, he's balancing three jobs. He's doing the job of a former officer that he's doing accreditation on top of doing quartermaster duties, and he's also filling in doing medical billing as well.
Wow.
For a civilian position they cut.
Yeah.
So he's balancing all three jobs. He did a fantastic job, and on top of the work that he did, it was a great team approach by everybody to get this done.
We can kind of identify that with that kind of thing because there's all sorts of multitasking going on at all sorts of businesses all over the place. What benefit does that actually extend to the Utica Police Department?
It benefits the department in several ways. It helps with the insurance premiums for the city, but also it instills confidence in the community that your department's one of a few that has its the best practices out there. And it's good for the morale of the department because the officers, they want direction.
Sure.
And if you're able to give them, the best direction in the forms of policies, then they feel more confident going about doing their job.
Utica Police Chief Mark Williams in studio, and yesterday I know you, excuse me, you guys were able to try out 50 new body cameras, and we've had you on and talk back and forth about what that will entail for the cost of the cameras, and I think the other issue was the cost of saving the footage and the files. We moved past that, so yesterday you were able to try those out. How did that go?
It's been a long process. We looked at the body-worn cameras well before Ferguson
Sure.
or any of these national spotlight issues that had occurred because we truly believe that this is going to be a tool that's going to make the officer's job easier. And we were able to secure grant money from Senator Griffel in the form of $60,000 back in May of 2014. What we found out during that time, establishing a body-worn camera program is quite extensive.
So it wasn't the cameras again.
Exactly. It was quite it's quite an undertaking to go. So we had to test like 7 different models of cameras. We had to get buy-in by the officers. We also had to come up with policy. And the latest thing is that we're currently training our officers now for in-service training on our policies and how to use it so that we'll fully deploy them come October 1st.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to it. Chief Williams, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Congrats on the accreditation and the rest of the issues moving forward with the Utica Police Force. Will be a very interesting time to see how we incorporate the brand new hospital into downtown as well. Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
All right. It's
Thank
the
you.
Talk of the Town at 100.7 FM WUTQ.